Hello, everybody. Jess Lohse with Structural Building Components Association, SBCA, here for another weekly update. It is December 17th, exactly 9 months after St. Patrick's Day. If you do the math, hopefully there's an Irish person in your life that has a birthday today. Happy birthday to them. One thank you that I want to get out of the way right up front. Jennifer Gustafson's been with us for 4 years. I think that was as of the 14th. So thank you, Jennifer, for everything you're doing. But 4 whole years, that you should have a college degree by now, which I think you already do. And you could probably teach us a few things about finance in the component industry. But beyond that, some additional thank yous. Been absent the last couple of weeks, been doing a lot of travel. We had our year-end board meeting a couple of weeks ago in Maryland, Upper Marlboro, at Home Innovation Research Lab. So thank you to Deanna Seal and Mike Luzier for opening up your facility, as well as all of your staff. We were able to go through their new fire testing lab, which was really cool to see some things burned, or we see how they work and how things are going to be tested. And if there's any fire testing that you have, definitely put them at the top of your list. Obviously, we in components have some needs once in a while, so it was great for our board members to be able to see that in action. With that, our board members, all of them that traveled out there to Maryland, thank you. We had a great turnout. We also had a lot logging in online, so we were able to get our year-end board meeting, which approved a budget as well as some policies, just kind of that nitty-gritty stuff that needs to be done in the business of the association. So the last couple of years, we've had just a board member only meeting, which has been great. We'll see what we can do next year, but we do have that OQM kind of, which will be open to everybody, coming up in Napa next December. So keep that on your schedule. Beyond that, really, coming back from the board meeting, we went right into our staff year-end in-person meeting that we've been doing, the last 4 years, essentially trying to get everybody together in the same location. It's a great way to build our culture, great way for our people to get to know one another. Because when everybody's remote, it's hard to develop that culture and that, appreciation for each other. Obviously, we've got some people that travel, more than others. So that isn't as bad. But for some of the people, it was the first time meeting them in person. So it was great to have everybody out to Montana's where we did that. A couple different reasons. One, that's where I'm from, and we got to see things kind of like that in the background, but also different part of the country. And there were a lot of opportunities for some tours. So our staff, we did one day of meetings and, kind of sitting in the office type thing and talking about policies, procedures, different updates about what's going on with the association. But then the second day, we were able to get out and see kind of the full cycle of wood products. We went to a lumber mill, FH Stoltz. Want to thank John Bowles and Cameron. I'm going to mess this up. Cameron W. Werschlegel. Hopefully you're not too offended with my pronunciation there, but FH Stoltz, really appreciating those folks opening their doors, taking us through all kinds of different things. And they had a lot of cool things. Obviously, I used to be a component manufacturer in Montana. I used to love getting lumber from Stoltz. They do MSR. They do really high grade, visually graded stuff. But I'd been through their plant, I think it was like 10 or 12 years ago, and seen, what they had to offer. I thought I was going to know everything going into it, but they've got some really cool updates. They are maximizing the log usage in a couple different ways. They've got some curvature with the log. They're also using AI generated grading for the visuals. That is key. That's really cool. I came back from Ligna a couple of years ago and thought, man, that's really interesting. There's some opportunities that are great for them to be utilizing that in a lumber mill. And they also have what they call the cogen electricity generator, where they're taking all of their waste, they are burning it, creating steam, and using that to create, I think it's up to 3 gigahertz. I don't know the electricity. Basically, they're able to power around 2,500 homes per hour with the generation of their electricity that they got going there. So they bring in some additional waste or use it from other mills, but they can use up all of their own as well, which is really cool with that full circle, being able to use the waste and generate some income off of that. But beyond that, we also were able to go and talk to WBC Components in Columbia Falls. Really, they're like just a few miles apart. So great to see Don and Jeff there. They've got a great team, really well-run operation. Nice for a lot of our members to get in and see. Some of them, it was their first manufacturing operation. For others, it's been several, but they're all unique. They're all cool to see, and I really enjoyed the time there. Another thing to kind of, that green, utilizing all of the wood that comes into the plant. They have a boiler that heats up to 3 different facilities in their compound there, or their site. And that was one of the things Don said was one of the best investments he ever made. So that was really cool to see that, again, utilizing the waste. That's probably something we should talk about a little bit more as component manufacturers. How much of that are we utilizing for the benefit of component manufacturer, I know there's some that will do, feed bed and that kind of stuff, but I think there's some opportunities there for component manufacturers. And so thank you, Don and Jeff, for opening it up and taking our team through there. It was cool. Beyond that, we were able to get into Smart Lam, and that's a CLT manufacturer in Columbia Falls. Again, just a couple miles. So everybody was right almost on top of each other, but it was a quick drive, not a lot of commute in between, but we were able to get in, see how CLT is manufactured, kind of their process, how they take a lot of lumber. The material flow was really interesting. Also, the quality control and what they do. I think that there's some things that we can probably learn from that industry as far as what they do, but that's always interesting to see how other wood products, maybe some of their things could be implemented in the component manufacturing. Always on the lookout there. But Scott Lundgren, the production manager there at Smart Lam, he did a great job. Really appreciate him taking us through. I think we were there for almost 2 hours, so we got to see all of it. It was awesome. Got to see them, lay the layups and all of that. If you've not been through a CLT plant, it's worth taking the time and to understand that. But a few other thank yous there that Smart Lam, specifically Steve Schrader with Hundaker, called him up, a couple of calls, texts back and forth. He had us in there, which really appreciate them. Carlos Lozano was there. I wanted to make sure I said that name correctly, because we all know Carlos, but he's with Hundaker, and really appreciate them being there and kind of taking the tour with us. And then also for the Stoltz, we called our Lumber Bros. If you don't recognize that term, it's from the podcast that they do bi-weekly with Molly on our staff. Ken Timmons and Justin Binning, thank you for getting us into Stoltz. And then again, Don, Jeff, thank you for opening the doors there. I had that direct connection there, but that's really what's been going on for the last couple of weeks. We are still hard at work, getting towards the year end. We got a lot of different things going on. And I'll close by saying the one person that was not in attendance at our staff meeting, Abby, she's on baby watch. So we're going to be adding to the family here pretty quick. But congratulations to her. And thank you to all of our staff, all of our board members, everybody that's made the last couple of weeks possible. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to gearing up for a great 2025. I'm already excited for it. Hopefully you are too. But went long as I normally do. I'll talk to y'all maybe next week, maybe the week after. We'll leave it up in the air. But let me know if you did miss me, or if you didn't and you're like, this cadence a little better, that might be more helpful. Anyway, till then, peaks up, press on. Have a great week, and we'll talk to y'all a little bit later.